executive session.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, while we were in executive session, we discussed the KIA scoring, and the potential for a case on that. We also discussed the raw water intake case. As folks know, our lawyer with Stites and Harbison, Mr. Bill Geisen, has filed our complaint with the Martin District or Circuit Court. And now we're waiting for Big Sandy Ad to respond. There's nothing that was discussed in the executive session that requires a motion. So with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, or second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Me.
All right, so board members, I'd like to move directly into the sanitation district meeting. So I'd like to call that meeting to order. Review and consideration to approve minutes. Board members who received your packets, the minutes were in them. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Review consideration of financial reports.
Yeah, 381, total cash, $39,864.12. Total current assets of $210,126.84. Net property, plant, and equipment of $8,102,720.08. Total restricted cash is $46,550.05, brings your total assets to $8,359,369.97. 382 is your total current liabilities of $487,171.56. Total long-term debt of $1,665,349.91. Brings your total liabilities to $2,152,521.47. And your total liabilities and district equity to $8,359,396.97. On 383, monthly financials for June, your revenues are up $6,099 than what was budgeted at, so the actual for the month was $89,085. Your operating expenses was $6,669 less than what was budgeted, and your net before income makes your net before income $12,768 better than what you had budgeted. 384, billed 876 customers for a total of 5,015,620 gallons, and a total billing charges of $88,822.61. Accounts receivable for the month of $99,755.72. Total deposits of $80,597.75. After disbursements, the end of month balance of $26,444.12. Fifth and available balance of negative $31,407.18. 385, total cash investments of beginning balance of $69,454,093. After deposits, interest, fees, and payments, an ending balance of $86,414.17.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Make a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Review consideration to approve other financials?
Yeah, 3B1 shows your billing summary from this year compared to last year. This time in June of last year, your revenue is up about $1,900. Your year-to-date total's up about $8,000, and your gallons billed is up about 2 million gallons. Number of customers, I only got feeding 4 more customers now than you did last year. Certain 4 more customers you did last year. 3B2 shows your outstanding vendor debt, and then 3B3 matches those totals for all the vendors that you have debt to.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve, consideration to approve other financials?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Review, consideration to approve bills?
Yeah, 401 is listing your bills. So you have on there a couple to note, so you got United Rentals, which is number 15. That is for an auto pump, but it's still at the IGA pump station. And you have one at Buchanan Pump, it was $300 we had to rent for a short term at Riverside Pump Station until we got it back in operations. For $300, those are amounts that can potentially be reimbursed through FEMA. And then you can see the charges there from Prime, which I'm sure Tim will go to in a minute,
Yep.
which is for the cane and the INS disinfection.
No, go ahead, Doc.
Sorry, go ahead, you're good.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve bills?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Legal, Brian?
Nothing to add on the sewer department.
All right, thank you, Brian. Operations?
Show Tom what it is.
6A1, we, at the wastewater treatment side, we relocated the acid feed line at the Inez plant. We moved it to the splitter box on clarifier 2. We replaced the PLC at for the Tug Valley actuator. Continued removing brush from the fence line at Tug Valley wastewater treatment plant. We repaired 61 grinders in-house, replaced the float and power wire at the Quail Hollow lift station, and we've been working with Prime A on the Kane building. We dug and cleaned and installed a clean out behind Tommy Maynard's car lot. Right now we're down to 3 grinders. We have 3 grinders out, and we've got parts to repair the 3 that we have out. 6A2.
Wait, where did the brush come from? It was on the fence line. How did it
It's
get
just-
there? Was that from
You
like
talking
the
about
flood?
weeds?
Yeah, I'm just talking about brush that's been growing up around the outside.
Oh, okay, I
of the fence.
see. Just growth.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
6A2, the plant operations. As you can see, we did have one E. coli failure there. We had a chemical pump failure overnight, and we don't have a PLC to see any kind of alarms. And when you come in and take your samples the next morning, you don't really have much time to respond. So that's something that we do need to take care of.
And we documented that in our report to the state, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Brian is gonna be here on, we've set a time, I think it's the first week of August, and we're gonna do a walkthrough of TUG to update the scope of work that we've got in our portal.
WRS, yeah.
So that will be one of the items that we get included in the portal, to make sure we have that.
Yeah, 'cause right now that scope is, that scope was it 1.5 million to upgrade that plant?
Yeah, I think it's what the number, it's close to that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. All right.
Okay, and for May, we did actually pass all of our E. coli's at Inez.
Let me ask a question. I know, you may not have the answer to all of it, but, since we moved the PA injection point for disinfection, upstream of disinfection basin, have we failed any E. coli?
We did fail one since then, and I think the reason for that one was because we were pumping out that clarifier, to try to get it empty so they could see it, and I think we.
Didn't adjust the dose rate, so because you were feeding 10 pounds a day, and the engineering evaluation says you should be feeding 20 pounds a day. And that's based off of an influent constant rate coming from the system. So if you up the flow rate, which means you have to change the dose rate to accommodate the increase in flow.
Yeah, and for the majority of it's just a slug rate that's coming out of that clarifier.
Right, I understand.
But we have since then, since we've been pumping it out, we have dropped the contact chamber and cleaned it out and have everything back as it should be.
Good. We should know after this week's samples, kind of what we.
Let me know how that progresses.
6A3, repair expenses ending in May. sitting at $14,615 out of $55,000, bringing us to about 26%. Chemical expenses ending in May, $5,662 out of the $25,000, leaving us at 23%. 684 and 685, the monthly transaction notes. And then 6Bs, 1 through 6B5 is our DMRs.
Okay. Is there any questions, board members, on operations? I'm gonna get into operations a little deeper, once we get into, old business, but, so with that, Todd, capital projects report?
So, two things that really on the CIP, that on the sanitation side, is the sanitary extension from the Lavella Road. So we met with Prime, Tim and I did, we went out with Prime, we drove the area, tried to scope the area that we thought was best fit for the lift station. Tried to, went down some alternate roads to see about what best way of running the line, and, so that project is progressing. Yanez wastewater rehab plants, we talked about the last meeting that bids came in, and they were, really, it was well over the amount that we had funded for this project. They went back to the contractor and asked them to come back with some better pricing and some ideas of how we could reduce the funds. They did come back, which puts it more in close to what we have funded, and we have a call Thursday to discuss those alternate pricings with the engineer and contractor.
And then also, today I reached out to Fahi, and asked him to give me a proposal that I'll bring to this board for approval to get additional funding, to cover the cost additional cost, that's above, the funded value. Cause even with the negotiation, when you add the base cost with all the options, I wanna say it's roughly $120,000 above what's funded, roughly. You know, I'll be coming back to the board with a proposal from Fahi to try to get the additional monies. The one thing we all have to remember is it serves us no purpose if we do the rehab and we can't meet our discharge standards. That makes 0 sense. So we need to do the work to meet the discharge standards. Now keep in mind, this plant has not met a discharge standard, and I went back in the records 5 years and I've never seen a discharge standard met in 5 years.
Not complete, not all parameters, no.
No. And that's all parameters, yeah. So anyway, that's a task that I've been working on as well. And so we'll have our call Thursday to brainstorm some of that and talk through, and we'll report back to the board, on the outcome of that call. But also, Todd, they're also working on the, sanitation, master plan as well. That's all part of the Develop Road, extension.
Right, they requested some information from that, and we've provided them with what we had, and I think part of the meeting when they come in here is gonna be to discuss more of that as well.
Right. Okay. All right, so is there any questions on the projects that we have currently, ongoing? All right, so let's move on to other old business. Discuss the 1,500 gallon pump truck repair options, Todd. Have you been able to come back with any costs and, any ideas on how we can get the bigger truck operable?
I don't have anything new than what we've discussed in the past, but I haven't, when we provided the cost, what would be to repair the existing truck compared to, and purchasing used and old. I think at the time, we decided to kind of table this until we'd seen where we could get some funding available.
Yeah, if I remember right, was it $26,000 to repair the truck?
It was around that, 25, 26.
Yeah, and then the truck has over 200,000 miles on it?
Correct.
And a new chassis for the truck was gonna cost like $56,000?
think it was more like
80,000 for the chassis?
think so.
Okay.
I don't
Can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I was thinking that.
How much is it on a truck?
That's a Pacific truck.
Oh, my. Yeah, you buy the chassis, you move everything off of this truck onto the new chassis, save a lot of money. New truck, you're probably talking $150,000 with the tank and the pump and all the accessories and all that.
Yeah, it's talking $106,000 to fix it. Then you just say.
26,000.
26.
To replace the
26,000 to fix the
Eighty
truck,
coming from.
80,000 to buy a new chassis to move everything over to.
I see.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, confused,
Yeah.
confused, tired,
it's all right, it's all right.
late, it's past my bedtime.
All right, so board, are we in agreement that we're just gonna continue to table this until we figure out where to get the money to pay for it? Cause I don't know where the money's gonna come from. to be
Yeah,
honest
I
with you.
know.
And we're making do with the 500-gallon truck that we have, right?
Yeah, we have one in operation that is maintaining everything we've got now.
Okay,
We did, y'all did, pay for some extensive work on that a few months ago and everything, it's been working great since.
okay. Board, master services agreement status, that's on me. I have not had a chance to get over to visit with Brian and spend some time with him. I will make an attempt to try to get that done soon. But that's on me to make that happen. Once that happens, Brian will release those MSAs back to the board and we'll have a motion to approve them. Once that happens, I just gotta get through the legal process first. Todd, on the FEMA KY emergency management funding status,
Yeah, the document that I emailed out to you all yesterday that has most of those projects listed, most of these are pending, some type of review or that we're waiting on the insurance information before those larger projects can move forward. I do expect some on the sanitation side. If you look at that, what I provided, some of the main line repairs, 2 of those were sewer line repairs, so that money will be reimbursed to us. I was told that money should be obligated this week as well, which will hopefully get us having the funds next week.
and that'll go back into our operating budget.
Correct.
Okay. All right, AWR update board on the insurance claims, is that the same as on the water side?
Well, I have one more question.
Okay, good.
So, when we file a claim, did we file as one claim, or do we have to file a separate claim for sanitation, separate claim for water?
We have one for water, one for
Of course
sanitation.
we do, that's $200,000 deductibles, right? Yeah. Okay.
Unless you're one entity, you could insure.
I think it's they insure each entity separate.
Can't we be just one entity?
If it back to being a single utility board, we can. But we're 2 boards, so it's 2 entities.
Yeah, I understand, but my question, why can't we be one entity? Is it because the water stretches throughout the county and?
What, the sanitation, all that.
It goes back to how things were formed and the way the current statutes regulate those. I don't even wanna go down there right now, I'm too tired to even think about
No, I got you.
going back to one board.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, so on the insurance, can I get a motion for myself and Todd to work with Brian and Vernon, you two, work with Brian for Brian to craft a letter to go to, the insurance company, on this claim?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So that'll be 2 letters, Brian, instead of one for water and one for sanitation.
That's so
Ching.
He's glad he's slowing down.
Brian went for years and, did all this basically for free for a long time, cause he might have charged us, but we wasn't paying him, so. So now he's getting a little bit of money out
a
of
low
it.
price bill.
So moving on to 2024 audit update and board approval, obviously, we don't have the final audit, Todd, where are we at with that?
Yeah, that's what like we talked about on, where the updated language that was requested, they're putting that in right now. I expect to have it any time. I can follow back up with them, but that's the only hold up on it now, is just having that updated language for the.
Okay, well, let's get that out to the board members, August 12th special meeting, that will be on the agenda for the board to approve that. So I need to get it approved because I need to get it out for the KI scoring. So we're under a time crunch, we gotta push them to get that done, it shouldn't be that difficult for them. Okay. All right, discuss King Hotel sanitation options and progress. So board members, good news. The engineering firm Prime AE completed their engineering evaluation, their profile, cross-sectional drawing of the elevations and invert elevations, and option one will work. And just so everybody knows, it's by a matter of inches that it works. It's close. But it will work. Option one is good news because option one is the cheapest route for the district and in the best interest of all parties involved. So the next step is to make sure that from a legal perspective, that the 1985 easement agreement will work for all the parties involved. So I'm trying to work through that right now. The other item that needs to be worked through is the current practice and past board language passage the board had approved at some point, and I've asked Todd to pull the minutes of that meeting because I need that. The board approved, and I think it was before my time, I know it was before my time, but at one point in time, the district pumped any septic tank within the INS limits for free at some point. And then at some point, the board passed a motion to start charging, I think it was $50 or something, I forget what it was. It was at cost value, I think it was $50. And then a while back, since I've come on the board, we changed it from, I wanna say $50 to $85 per pump, but I don't know. But we raised it up because our cost was more than $50 to do it. But I've asked Todd to pull I need the minutes from the meeting where we went from not charging to charging, number one. But number two, board members, I sent out a draft of the revised sanitation tariff language. And if you look in that tariff language, there's no identification of incidental cost in that specific to septic tank pumping, which is a problem. It should be in there. So two things. One, I need the minutes that approved it. Secondly, I need to get it into the tariff language, and I need to send that language back out to the board for review. Because right now, the draft that you have doesn't include septic tank incidental costs. And it should. Provided that the board passed it. So there's two action items that's gotta come from that. But I'm confident that we can get this worked out, number one, and number two, I'm confident that it will work. And right now, it will be a cost to the district to make this happen of around 11,000 and change. So it's gonna cost us to make this happen. At the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. For a lot of reasons, and I don't want to take all night laying that out, but it's the right thing to do. So with that, that's the update on it. We're progressing. We just got a few legal things to address, and then once that happens, I'll ask the board to approve the expenditure, the 11,000 and some, to do the work. But I'm hopeful that that's soon. Okay, moving on, status of board attorney advertisement, Sam's Martin County Water District. We're gonna have a special meeting on August the 12th to hopefully interview attorneys, and coming out of that executive session, doing the interviews, I'd like to come out of that with a motion to hire an attorney. That's the plan for that. Fahi contracted denim executed for KIA Kentucky Water's application. As the board knows, the board approved. And it originally for 4 applications, and then I asked the board to approve, and the board approved 1 more to make it a total of 5. Fahi is now working on 5 applications, and those applications are progressing very well. Again, they follow the same schedule as the water applications. By the end of the first week of August, we'll look at a revised draft. They'll go to KIA for a review and comment. And then we'll finalize them and we'll submit them, August the 22nd, a week before they're due. Moving on to Prime AE completed report on KDOW, directed to switch back to chlorine for disinfection. Prime completed that report, submitted to KDOW, and we've requested a meeting to discuss that. But in that report, some interesting things of note. Prime AE recommended, and AWR has already moved the injection point to where the water leaves the clarifier and goes down into a, for better term, channel exit. We inject at that point, and what happens is PAA, parasitic acid, then mixes in the pipe. So by the time it gets to the disinfection chamber, it's mixed, and now it's got the full contact period for disinfection. That was one recommendation they made, and we've already implemented that. The second recommendation Prime AE made was based on their calculations, the dose rate of 10 pounds per day was too low, and they recommended 20 pounds per day at the defined flow rate that we were running at, and we've made that change. Since those changes have been made, we've passed all but one, E. coli. Even with water quality, leaving the wastewater treatment plant, poor quality, high BOD, high nitrogen, high a lot of things, TSS. TSS isn't as bad as it could be better, but anyway, with poor water quality. That's important to know because water quality plays a major influence on disinfection ability. So that's where we sit. We've asked for a call with KDOW. It's our goal that KDOW will say, okay, based on you implementing these two things, let's see how you perform until either A, you get the money to put in a chlorine system, or B, you rehab your plant and we can reevaluate. That's where we sit with that currently. Is there anything to add on that?
The only thing, I talked to Jonathan today, he was trying to get hold of Nicholas Fields and wasn't been able to, and I gave him some contact information. I think he can get a hold of him today.
Okay, good. All right. Building office lease, options under review, that same as water, nothing to really add there. We're on month to month until we work something out, whether we're gonna stay where we are or whether we move to another location. Other new business, discuss board approval of bills and timing to mitigate late fees, motion to approve board discussion outcome. Board, I propose that we carry the same motion for sanitation district we carry for the water district, and that being that we forecast, in this case, the electric bills. Todd, is there anything else outside of electric that we would need to estimate or forecast?
Debbie did remind me in the hallway that we all, like our school tax and stuff, are items that we do pay that are due before our meetings as well. I'll get you a complete list of that, and we'll make sure that whatever that it is included in the next list of bills as an estimate.
Great, that's perfect. And that's based off our revenue, the school taxes, so we should be able to forecast that.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
So because it's August 12th, we're okay. The next meeting is August 12th, we're okay, because in other words, they're already gonna be paying bills.
Well, because it wasn't,
I'll look into that. I just wanna make sure the timing is, but I understand. I think by the 12th, since we are having a special meeting, we would not hit late fees at that point, so they wouldn't have to be estimated. But in any future events, we would make sure that they're estimated and listed in the list of bills.
well, let's make sure we get on the agenda for the special meeting that we review and approve that, we approve those bills, because if it's not on the agenda, we can't. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I still need a motion.
So moved.
Can I have a second? All in favor? All right, all right. All right, moving on, discuss tariff revisions and motion to approve as revised, board. I will update the tariff package and send it back out to the board. I need to make sure that all incidentals have been included. I also need to make sure that the board meeting minutes align with the motions that were approved on the septic tank, so they can be added to the tariff, language for the board to approve. So I'll get that, it's an action item on me to get that out to the board members. And Todd, I'll schedule a time with you to sit down and go through, sanitation incidentals. To make sure that, that's updated. Consider a motion to approve chairman to work with the board attorney to update the utility board bylaws for 2008 for future board approval. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Consider a motion to convene in a closed executive session.
No,
All right.
I don't think we need to go into
Do we have any guest speakers? Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Wait,
All in favor? Oh,
Wait a minute.
Bernard's got something.
Well, no, I'm trying to think if there was something, I thought there was something we discussed on the water board that would apply that's not there, and I had the thought in my head, and then it just
Water
it
board
disappeared.
applied.
What was it? It was something.
You didn't tell me to remind you.
Flood damage?
Pardon?
Flood damage?
Insurance.
No, we talked about that, There was something else. I don't know, it's escaped me. We're meeting again in 2 weeks anyway, we'll be all right, between now and then.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.